Yeah, definitely both off.
I mean, I feel like the fact that he got the dog that way would, like, lend credibility to the fact that he got the egg that way.
Three-headed dog or dragon? What would you choose?
Dog.
Well, I know you would say that.
There was zero hesitation.
We get over to Hagrid, and he asks Hagrid a couple of probing questions. And we basically find out that the stranger went there with the intention of getting Hagrid drunk to pry the information out of him about how to get past the dog. That does imply that it probably wasn't the same guy, because he wouldn't have needed to get Hagrid drunk then. I did think it was a little bit funny that not only does the guy assume that Hagrid is going to tell him how to get past it, but Hagrid does. Like, instead of just, like, normal conversation would be like, yeah, man, I can totally take care of a dragon. I took care of a three-headed fucking dog. And you know what? I can totally calm that motherfucker down. You don't need to tell him, like, how. Like, you know how you do it? You shake his back leg, and you scratch behind his ear. Falls right asleep. I just think that there's no reason for him to go to that much detail, even if he is drunk.
You guys want to take a beer break?
So we can get more drunk?
So we can get more drunk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good plan. I'm drinking Perrin Brewing Company's Blonde Porter Ale with chocolate. It's pretty good. I like it.
I am drinking the OCP. It is a fave. Oatmeal cream pie. It's from Pigeon Hill Brewing Company. It's a solid beer. It's really good.
I like it.
What about you, Nate?
The can says Southern Tier Brewing Company, Blackwater Series, Nitro S'mores. It's a Imperial Milk Stout. It really does taste like s'more. And it smells like it, too. It's really fucking good.
I tried it. It's super delicious.
And James, do you need to say what you're drinking?
Well, like normal, I like my KBS, but I think I found a new favorite. That's that one Nate's drinking, that s'mores stuff. They're very, very good.
You ready to get back into it?
I suppose we shall.
You want to go through the trap door?
Yes?
Well, the podcast is about to pop off, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we're getting back into the book here, and it's quite obvious to Harry and Ron and Hermione, they got to seek out Dumbledore at this point. Stuff's going on. Hagrid's slipping up. Obviously, things are starting to get set in motion here. They got to go find him. What bothers me is that they don't know where his effing office is. How do you not know where the headmaster is? And it now occurs to me, this has never been brought up.
It wasn't in the pamphlet.
There was no, if you need to speak with the headmaster, he's over here in this specific location. Nothing. And now they as well are like, where the hell do we go?
I feel like that may have been a stroke of genius on Dumbledore's part. You want to bring me a problem? Find me.
Yeah, his office is probably located right next to the suggestion box.
They don't need to. He carries Dumbledore around on the card in his pocket.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
he worked it in.
You don't have to work it in anything. Just
Where's
that
Dumbledore
is
right now, though? Nate?
in his pocket.
Okay, so I looked into this.
Oh, joy.
James is not the only person that has had this theory. And in fact, there's quite a big number of people who think this is what's up. Spoiler alert. Should we do a countdown to it? Whatever. Okay. Very briefly, in a later book, Dumbledore is getting in trouble. And the only thing, he doesn't care what they do to him. The only thing he says they don't want him to do is take him off of the wizarding cards. And a lot of people think that this is because the trick to the paintings and the pictures is that they can travel between paintings and pictures, and that he's got one of himself in his office, and all of these little mini Ds go to the big D to report. I'm just saying, a lot of people think that this is a possibility. So James is not so far-fetched.
Okay, but we're assuming that Dumbledore has a secret painting then in his office? Because the paintings on the wall in the headmaster's office are of the previous headmasters. His painting doesn't go on that wall until he's gone.
Well, I guess he could have a card of himself. That's all he would really need.
I would just like to say, 1, how dare you give my husband validation at possibly being right about something? Not okay. I now have to go home and live with the fact that he could be right about something. 2. No, there really isn't 2. That was pretty much just it.
I just want to say, I disagree, because I feel like Dumbledore has enough reasons and ways to know things in the school, and he doesn't always know things that aren't happening. If he knows things all the time and he's really being this, like, hands-off, let Harry fucking deal with it, then he's way worse than I thought he was.
True story. I feel like we're going to get a lot more of this. I feel like it's going to keep coming up. Like, we need to put this on the back burner for a minute, because you know he's going to talk about it again.
Yep,
Yeah,
it happens
sure
a couple
will.
more times, I'm pretty sure. So they're looking for Dumbledore's office. They can't find it because, again, no one knows where it is. And they run into McG. She starts telling them, you don't need to talk to Dumbledore. That's what I got from reading it. So they start, like, telling her, all right, fine. It's about the Sorcerer's Stone. Snape wants to steal it.
He doesn't actually say Snape, though. He says,
Oh,
yeah, and then he goes,
doesn't.
someone. And I actually had the question, why didn't he say, I think it's Snape?
Earlier in the book, he made a comment about how if he told people that he thought it was Snape, they wouldn't believe him because everybody knows how much he hates Snape. Which I thought was kind of a weird thing. Like, maybe you're the problem. if that's how widely known it is that you hate this teacher. And you've only had him for, like, barely a year. But I guess that's his reasoning. That's the only reason we've been given so far, that he wouldn't tell. And apparently it's good enough.
So McGonagall tells them that Dumbledore just left. He got an urgent letter from the Ministry of Magic, and he had to take off, and that seemed super suspicious to me. Like, oh, he just happens to be gone. The second Harry figures it out.
The second they're all like, well, as long as we have Dumbledore.
Right, and he's really the key to all of this, because Hogwarts is the safest place, and Voldemort won't come here, all because Dumbledore's here. And so for the first time now, we know for sure he's gone, and Harry doesn't have that protection anymore. And Harry realizes he's fucked.
Well, I think now he's realizing, like, it's going down. We gotta do something.
Yeah, Harry immediately goes into, like, overdrive. He's like, I tried McG. Bitch didn't want to listen. It's all on us now, guys. Which I thought was a little bit funny.
All right, they gotta have eyes on Snape. Like, what's gonna happen? What's going on?
I just think it's funny that they think there's a possibility that Snape's not going to notice the girl, like, shadowing him in the hallways.
And isn't it crazy that these 11-year-olds are, like, taking on this giant clusterfuck of a thing that's happening? Like, I panic when I have, like, 2 things going on in one day.
I did appreciate McG going over to the 3rd floor corridor and checking up on it and being like, really? Really, guys? Because that showed she did actually, like, alright, maybe I shouldn't just completely blow off what they were saying. Whether she was looking for them or something else, we don't know. Maybe she was actually looking for a legitimate threat. Harry goes hero mode and he decides to get the stone first before Snape can get to it. And automatically assumes that Ron and Hermione are out because they don't want to be expelled.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised when they both said that they were in. Hermione says she had talked to Flitwick and she got 112% on her exam. So she's like, they're not kicking me out. They need me here as a student. One more thing happens that I thought was fucking awesome. And we had mentioned this before too. How Ron is like a ride or die friend. Hermione gives an explanation of why it's okay to her. Ron does not.
No.
He's just fucking in because he's just in because that's his friend. And I was like, ha! Yes!
Yeah. He's like, well, duh.
It wasn't even a question. Of course I'm going with you, fucker.
And then Neville tries to stop him.
Acting like a motherfucking evil villain in that chair.
What I don't get about this is why would you fight them when you could just abraca-fucked off and they're gone?
I think because Neville knows he's inept at the magic. He knows that they're all better than him.
So what? I'd still try. I would whip it out just to show them I'm gonna be in it. So then Hermione stuns him with her spell.
Petrificus Totalis.
Okay.
Which brings me back around from what I said earlier. Rude. They are mean to him. It's not nice. I don't like it. You spelled your friend.
He totally had the potential to be their friend and to help them out. Neville could have turned into a potential baddie, a real villain in the story because they shun him. Like, come on, man. You've been involved in, like, every single thing that's happened so far in this book. Come be our friend and help us defeat the evil wizards. Real quick, I do want to say that the Trevor thing, the toad always taken off, I feel like there's more to the story with a toad. We know that humans can turn into animals, and this toad's name is Trevor, which is a person's name, and the toad does not want to stay by Neville. So
I never thought of that.
I feel like maybe Trevor is a person that they kidnapped and turned into a toad. Or something.
So you want backstory on Trevor?
I do. Scabbers got me thinking. Who knows? Is he really losing him, or is Trevor, like, trying to get away?
And just like in the book, you are picking on my Neville.
Who's picking on Neville?
You guys are picking on Neville. He's a bad toad owner.
This is not picking on. This is analyzing facts. Bullying is not the same thing as analyzing. People need to understand.
Got feels for my Neville. I can't help it.
Neville will be fine. He's gonna lay in his perfect body bind with his eyes stricken in horror until we get back. We're gonna leave the common room now and going out into the castle in the invisibility cloak.
Yeah, good thing they got that cloak back.
Yeah.
Conveniently. Mm-hmm.
They run into Peeves. He's pulling some pranks, getting ready for the next morning. And did I jump ahead?
No, that just made me think that Peeves, like, he spends his night jetting around the castle, setting up for the morning. Like,
Right. He's pulling up the carpet on the stairs, trying to make it so people are gonna trip as they're walking up in the corridors and everything. When they get to him, they don't really want to, spook him or let him see them in any way. They start acting like the Baron. Why is Peeves so afraid of that one ghost?
we don't know about the rules for ghosts. Like, we knew Peeves could be invisible. He's a poltergeist. Even though ghosts normally can't touch things, maybe they can, like, torture poltergeists or something. We're not really left with any answers about that.
Don't you think Peeves would be able to tell that that's not the Bloody Baron talking to him? That's an 11-year-old human boy.
Yeah, I would assume the Baron's voice is probably a little lower, a little creepier. But I guess we're working on the assumption that Peeves is so scared that he's not questioning.
Well, the Baron is covered in silver blood.
Yeah.
The unicorn.
Mm.
When Voldemort is feeding on it in the woods, it's silver blood, right?
Yeah.
So is that maybe what the Bloody Baron has all over him?
I mean, it could be.
Do you think that's unicorn blood, or do you think that's just like a representation of blood,
Being
but he's a
covered
ghost?
Hagrid explains if you drink the blood of a unicorn, you live forever, but it's a horrid, nasty life, right? So if that was the crime that he was charged with, he was now allowed to travel Hogwarts forever rather than